Right, hi guys. Thanks for joining me. Once again, we take on the midweek Virtuslo Runda race. So today we have got a 57.7 kilometer race with 674 meters of climbing. I think actually I'd do better if this course was in reverse. If I cut across to the start line. Oh, let's turn that off. That's yesterday's results. You can see down the bottom there, we've got two big climbs. I say big, they're probably about 300 meters each. And then shallow descents on either side. So yeah, I'll probably be doing better the other one, going the other way, but we shall see how it goes. Pretty flat for the first 15k, I think. It's about a 6k climb between 7, 8, 9% gradients. Yeah, long descent, shorter but steeper climb, flatish across the top, and then a long descent towards the finish line. So I'm hoping for better luck than I had last week, where my power meter battery decided to die after 10k. Actually no, that was the Medio Fondo, which was at the weekend. The last week I forgot to pair my power meter to my phone app. Didn't realise until 5 seconds before the race, and ended up being left standing on the start line, having to chase my way back through a field of 100 riders. Managed to get up to 26th, I think it was, in the end. So we had it was pretty flat with an out and back last week. It was around about 55k, 60k, something like that, with a 6k climb in the middle, 6k descent. So actually it wasn't too bad being dropped, but obviously that's not the plan. So 89 riders online then, 10 seconds to go. And let's get powered up. And away we go. Bit green all there from the Ratio Racing team. Smashing it out the gate. The Organ Van Bears. Also from the Ratio team there. James Vickers as well. Making a rare appearance on the road. So last week when I was chasing down, I actually set a 1 minute power PB for the last 12 months. So a bit more of a gentle start today, which is good. So if you haven't seen, you've not been on the social media streams, there was an update this week that was applied server side from RGT, which is an update to the physics engine. So they've made a few changes which affects the cornering, affects the drafting on a downhill with a big pack, and affects a few other little bits and pieces as well. There's a bit less brake checking when you're riding in a pack. So I got to ride on the Echelon Crit Series on Sunday, and that was the first time there had been a public use of the new dynamics, and it was pretty well received. So RGT on Tuesday just went, fine, everyone can have it then. There's Eagle Cops next to me in the pink RGT kit, one of the organisers of the Virtuslo events. So rolling at a pretty decent pace early on then. But yeah, it'll be easy. It'll be good to see how that new physics engine works on a longer ride like this. When we did the test on Sunday on the Echelon event, it was a very specific type of course. So it was a 2K lap. It was a crit circuit. It was pretty much half of it was downhill, a quarter of it was flat, and a quarter of it up to the line was uphill. So you spent the first 3/4 of the lap fairly relaxed, and then the last quarter pushing hard up a 6 to 10% gradient. So that causes you to ride in a very specific way. But I did notice that you could ease up and relax a bit more on the downhills without fear of being dropped. I did have one moment of panic, but I pushed it a bit too far. But that was on a sort of 3 to 4% downhill, which historically, on RGT, if you start getting caught on those, you've still got to be doing a good few watts per kilo. But I found myself cruising at 1 watt per kilo, 70, 80 watts in pure output. And I was happily just sticking in the draft, sticking with the pack. It was all fine and dandy, getting some proper rest on those downhills. That was in a bit of a smaller bunch. We started off at about 35 or so because the Echelon races are in 4 categories. Today everyone's in together. So we are in a bigger field today of, well, 88 riders online. Not quite sure how many or so in this front group then. Probably about half of that, 45 or so. Couple of riders, Vickers then, off the front with Henrik Maed. Henrik Maed of the newly formed Pedalers team. Alongside Jürgen Janssens, Jez Reed, Nate Fulcher. We've got one other. Can't quite recall off the top of my head, which I'm sorry for that one rider that I don't remember your name. I know those guys are going to be entering the team time trial. They've registered for that. Nate, especially, Nate Fulcher, a strong time trialist, winning the overall individual time trial in the Tour de Monde. I think they've also entered the Type this Cymru, the Tour of Wales being organised by Ratio Racing. That starts in about 4 weeks, a 5-day back-to-back staged race. I think they're still looking for a 6th rider. Oh, Kenneth Manzina, the Belgian rider. There you go. He's their 5th rider at the moment. They're looking for a 6th. So if you're interested, if you're available, if you're looking for a team, jump on Discord, Facebook, drop one of them a message. Get yourself signed up. So it's been a fairly straightforward 5.5K. Ooh. I find myself just heading to the back of the pack there. Yeah, just over 40 riders in this group. Again, a little bit of a group there, look. A little bit of a small group going off the front there. Lister, there you go, not to be confused with Lister. An S Lister in that front group. There you go, American rider. So this should be fairly straightforward initially. So there's a tiny little red bit, a couple K before that main first climb. But you can see, this is a really interesting course, this, I think, because the lighter riders, they're probably going to get up those climbs a bit easier. But it's not like it's just straight back down. It's a long, gradual descent from both of those, which might just give those heavier riders, those bigger engines, a bit of a chance. If there's 5 or 6, like I managed to do last week with Carneal. I don't know if he's here today. I've not seen his name flash up just yet. I'll keep an eye out. A bit of a TT effort. You could quite easily pull some people back on those downhills. I think tactic-wise, I get over the top as close as I can to the front. I don't think I will be right in those front groups. If I can get over in a bit of a group, should be ideal, really. So we'll see how it goes. Only 10 meters of elevation climb so far in that first 7.5K. This is a very flat run in then. There's a few of you watching. Thanks for tuning in. Please do get involved with the live chat. Ask me any questions you like. I'll try and answer them. Maybe you want to know a bit more about what I think about this new physics engine. Try and give you a bit of feedback on that. So one thing I have had as well since last week, I've swapped my setup around a little bit. If you listen to my interview with Titanium Geek, you would have already heard about this. We decorated our bedroom, me and my wife. We had a new carpet. We got some underlay, big rubbery foam stuff. I ordered a bit too much. So what I've done is I've cut some sheets out, stacked them on top of each other, then a layer of wood, and then the trainer. Just gives my bike a little bit of movement, a little bit of side to side, a little bit of bounce underneath. So I've been testing that out for a few rides just to see how that responds. Yeah, hi Ned. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, it's not so much the amount of climbing, but the gradient that worries me a little bit. I don't know if you caught me at the start of the stream. I was saying if this was ridden the other way, we did this course in reverse, I think it would be a bit more to my liking. There's 3% gradients and then some shorter, steeper sections. I don't think that would be right on my alley, but we'll give this a go. Hi, Jerry. Yeah, it's this new draft so far in the pack. I feel like, so what I think is that the collision detection means every rider now occupies a bit of a smaller footprint. So you do get riders passing a bit closer to each other than before, passing through each other in some instances. So whereas before you just come up with it behind a rider, bang, hit your brakes, and then risk falling out the back of the pack. I think there's a bit less of that now because you actually end up just passing through riders. There's less area taken up by avatars, so you don't hit that braking zone quite so much. My sort of gut feel. Still see at the top left there, I am getting a bit of a break in. Possibly because of the number of riders, it is quite congested. So this pack here rolling along at 40 riders. But it does feel like it's a bit easier to get back on as well. I started drifting back there. I wasn't panicking. Pretty flat road, a little bit downhill. Up over 53, 54 k's an hour there. But actually, up my power a little bit and I'm coming back into that group. I'm not finding myself falling away from that group quickly. So I think that's really going to help people. They're not going to find themselves with that sudden ejector seat style riding that we had before. Actually, I can just cruise into this pack. And I'm not working too hard. And my heart rate's down at 139. That's pretty low for me in a ride like this. I think 11.5k in, 15 minutes. I'm at 150, 200 watts. Just jump around a bit because of I'm on a Bluetooth connection. I think you find that that's a bit more spiky compared to an ANT Plus connection. Although when I have paired that, compared it against my power pedals, it has been fairly consistent once you look at it over a longer period of time. I'm probably going to say no to that, Ned. Actually, I can let's get the comments up on the screen so everyone else can see what we're talking about. So there's definite surging in the Omnium yesterday, especially in the elimination. So you get that, whether it's people getting used to the elimination race, whether it was the size of the field, but it wasn't quite such a continuous smash fest. You know, it was a 500-meter lap yesterday. Ooh. Right, here's that little red line we spotted on the gradient earlier, so the power on. Back up into that pack. We'll come back to your question, Ned, in a second. There we go. Yeah, people perhaps were a bit more tactical yesterday. Leaving it a bit later to surge for the line. So So whether that was trying to optimize the draft or just people learning, a bit of both. Yeah, I certainly, you probably noticed it on the Echelon crit race on Sunday. I don't think I ever saw it above 1,000 watts in terms of that saving. Yesterday on the lap I got eliminated, I was putting out 1,100 watts and I didn't quite close the gap. So whether I left it a bit late and the gap was a bit too big, obviously the riders, and there's the final 6 of us. But there, like that corner, that was quite a tight corner. And here as well, you see how we're kind of sticking to our lines. It's not kicking us to the outside. And actually we're going round with a bit more consistency. It's stretching a little bit. We'll start to hit the base of this first climb. But you're not getting that real strong out effect you would see on corners. I think, Ned, once we're over this climb and on that blue descent section, that'd be a good place to look out for what the draft saving's doing. That's somewhere 1 or 2k dark blue downhill where you would expect in a decent sized pack to be getting, under the old model, very large drafting. One thing I know they haven't changed is the uphill drafting. So as we go along here, 2.7% gradient, I'm getting 140 watts saving. But we're doing 30k. So that saving is related to your speed. If we were going up here at 60 kilometers an hour, doesn't matter that it's uphill, you're still going to get a good draft saving because you're not punching the air at that speed. Yeah, on that downhill again there, keep an eye out for the corners. I think those high-speed corners get far less braking. I made a comment on Facebook that I think I understand, and I'm slightly guessing, but I don't have access to the physics engine or any of the development side of things. But the avatar will tend to follow the corner pretty rigorously. So if there's a left, right, left combination, it will tend to go round the bend. You imagine you stuck to the outside of those 3 corners. Your avatar would do a completely different route than if you went apex, apex, apex. I think maybe that's why we see a bit more braking in corners that we expect to see fast. Because in real life, if you were picking the racing line, yeah, you'd straighten it out, you'd go apex, apex. That doesn't happen quite so much on RGT. You tend to pick a side of the road and stick to it. And so that gives you a bigger radius. Yeah, exactly, Ned. So it's kind of going, right, what path will I take through this corner? Oh, now there's another one. Oh, now there's another one. I'm not really thinking, actually, if there's two corners within 50 meters, how would I take both of those together? Oh. Second fan time. Keep Aitchison behind me. We'll be following the stream. Right. Right here, look, left, right, and then a left. The reality is I'd be much closer to the apex of that right-hander, allowing me to go quicker. I'm in no man's land. Got to ride my own race up this climb. Still 4K to the top, I think. Still 40K in total to go. Picked up an empty water bottle. Oh. So Lister is chasing down Lister. Oh. And there's his name on the road. The gradient is varying a bit in orange and red sections. Oh, trying to stick with it then. Stay above 4 watts per kilo. Oh. Peak is getting a lot of airtime then, just ahead of me. We've hit some double digit gradients. I'm going to try and stick with these two guys over the top. I don't want to be isolated. Less than a K to the summit. Ugh. 15% gradient. Oh. 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 Hey, Maxime. Yeah, a few hicks at the end when you're already down. Oh. Nearly there. Oh. Oh. There we go. Oh. Get back on. Oh. Oh. All right. Get composed. Yeah, those Slovenian guys are very good. Eagle Cops is a world amateur champion, like 3 or 4 times. UCI, rainbow bands. Right, catch my breath. 530 meters to these guys ahead then. So a bit of braking in that corner, a bit more here. We're still apexing at 50k an hour. Same there, at 45. So there's braking, but you're not taking so much off. Yeah, he's got a huge engine as well. He weighs the same as me, 79 kilos. So he's not even a featherweight. He's just a very good rider. So that corner there then, 60k, no braking. Sweeping bend, a little bit of braking, 60k. Certainly is, Keith. You picked the right person to ride along. Quite possibly, Jerry. I think Maxime might say otherwise. He's well below that. Oh, some red numbers there for Manning up ahead. Looks like him and Maird had a falling out. That's it, Keith. Good working together here. Keep rotating. Hope your wife is doing the DS duties, relaying the messages. There are only 3 of us in this group, Ned, but it does seem to be a lot more flowing. If anything, the peloton should be held up more in a big pack. 2, 3 riders. We should be able to take the corners quicker. But my view now is we should just get on with it. We've got a physics engine, it's pretty good. It's the same for every rider. Now we just got to live with it, let the developers do something else. There's lots of other good stuff they could be focusing on. In-game segments, race categories, other game modes. In-game points mode would be huge. So I think we live with what we've got now. I think it's really good. We just have to learn it now. Now, I think before, there were a few times I could see that people would get frustrated. They'd be like, oh, why have I been dropped there? If I get dropped up a hill, I know why. I'm not good enough to carry my featherweight body up the hill. But hills don't play to my strengths. But I can understand if you're riding in a pack, you get jettisoned out the back for no reason, or on a corner, yeah, that's frustrating. And I think this new dynamic takes that element away. This will sound a bit harsh, but if you get dropped now, that's kind of just your own fault. Right, we're coming up on Manning then. Yeah, I think you're right, Jerry. We're never going to get to 100% real life. Pretty complicated, real life. We don't have steering. So there's an element of luck. That's it, Manning, on you get, good lad. But it's got to be good enough, and like you say, it's got to be predictable and learnable. You can make your avatar behave in a certain way by controlling when you put the power on and off. That's your game controller, your legs. It can be on or off. On a little bit, on a lot. You just got to learn that. If you were playing FIFA football on the Xbox, you learn what the different controls were. It's a little bit like when you have those rolling screen games with like a motocross bike. You've got to jump from one platform to the next. All you've got is your throttle and your brake. And it can be frustrating as hell. You fall off, you fall into the chasm. But you practice and you learn and you get better and you progress. I think there should be an element of that. I think there is. I think that curve is a bit easier now. And I think that's a good thing. You don't want a piece of software that's so hard to learn that you've got to play it for 2,000 hours. You'll just give up. If it takes a week to learn, you know, if it takes 5 races or 10 races, but you get progression every race, I think that's okay. Alright, so we're still on this big downhill then. I've not been completely gunning it, but I'm aware that very soon we've got some more climbing. But yeah, race rankings, Joey, that's still being worked on. I know that is in development. I don't really know quite how far away that is, but I do know it will be results based. RGT are pretty committed to that. I don't think I'm giving anything away by saying that. It's just how that manifests itself into a system. You know, there's 100 different systems. Every sport's got its own system. Right, halfway banner then, through the yellow arch. "45 minutes of riding, we're only halfway. It's going to be a bit of a slower Runda today. Oh, well, I feel like I've had a good ramble. Not really a rant, but just, it's almost like talk radio, this, isn't it? You tune in and listen to me spill my brains and just chat for an hour. I hope you didn't put anything in your calendar. Alright, looks like we're at the bottom of that descent then. Just about to start a little bit of climbing again. "2010, oh, excellent." That was the Swift deadline, wasn't it? Is that when they said it was coming soon? No. Yeah, they're giving a date. Hopefully there'll be some news released to the public by then. or some news about how it's going. I think things don't always go as planned. But it looks like Manning's going. Keeper said he's cramping and Manning's gone off the front. I thought they might be teammates in the same jersey, but apparently not. There's a good chance, Ned, I was doing the same. I played a bit of that back at university. That and a bit of rowing. How do you know that? You must keep a very detailed calendar. Well, Keith, considering you said you're cramping, you still seem to be riding pretty good here. So it looks like we're about 1.5 from the base of the red climb then. I think we've got a group coming up behind us a little bit. I am considering it, Maxime. I really like the concept. Looks good. It's just trying to fit it in around other things, really. It's getting to be quite a competitive race calendar. I like the TNT. I like this longer ride on a Wednesday. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll mix it up. I'm also quite enjoying being a bit of a free agent at the moment. Just doing my own thing. Not committed to any teams. I can kind of pick and choose what I want to do. But no, it looks like it's going to be good competition, good success. I think Keith is signed up, isn't he? And that is a good amount of data, Ned. That's some pretty diligent record keeping. I can barely calculate if I was at uni in those years, let alone what I was doing on those days. What day of the week was it? Let's get some fluid on before the climb. There's Keith's name on the road there. All right, starting to ramp up then. Bit of a hill up ahead. Oh, Wednesday. Oh, Wednesday is sports day in the UK. Wednesday afternoon. That's when all the universities take the afternoon off to play each other at sports. Yeah, a lot more solid red. It's not as long. But consistently steep. But I think red on the graph at the bottom just means greater than 6%, so we might be okay. Doesn't look too bad in the top right. Oh, great, 9% then. Boom. Oh, let's keep them. Yeah. So there's a group of BDB, Marine Hall, Madslow, 100 to 200 meters behind Lipster. You can see that in the app. So as long as I can get over the top and those guys are close by, should be all right. I get a few sweeps in. Yeah, it's not as detailed. Only does 1 decimal place. So it looks like Lipster's coming back at me then. Still another K of climbing at least. I don't really like touching the phone when I'm riding. Don't want to interfere with it. Accidentally stop the ride or anything. Well, it's just fine. Look at him go. So VDV, 240 meters back. It's still going to be 20k to go on the top of the climb. Well done, Birds, coming back then. 17th. I can see the top of that climb then in the top right. So just holding those gaps at the minute then. Oh, I didn't realise Blackburn was in the event. Put a message in the chat there. All right, nearly at the top then. Right, see if I can make it back to Manning and Lister then. Yeah, pushing on up this hill then. Pushing red numbers then, 5-6 watts per kilo. I don't think they want me coming back at them. There they are. See them on the screen now. Oh. Ah. Ah. There we go. And across. Oh. Nice. Thanks, Ned. Yeah, there's always moments and events. But I think you know this is your race. I think I knew there if I could get in with these 3 or these 2 and make it a 3, that was going to make a huge difference to riding solo for the final 18k. We can keep that group behind now. I think there's 4, maybe 5 of them together. we've got a nice head start here. Don't think we're going to catch. Oh, it's Carneil up ahead. My partner last week, he was in the group. Yeah, so Mitch is on his own then. He's at 1.5 and Carneil's at 2.2k. So we could get Mitch. 3 versus 1. You see in the top left, that little chase group just come onto the screen. I can get some teamwork going here. And a little in-app message. Already eating into that lead of Mitch. 1.33 now. It was 1.53. Right, pace is on then. 15k. 1.24 to Mitch. 0.95 behind. Oh, 8.850 now. There, gunning. We're not working very well together here. We're not in a line. That's it. Rotate. That's better. Yeah, it's slightly downhill the whole way to the line, by the looks of it. That group behind seems to be working a bit better, a bit bigger. But we've got a good speed up here, the three of us. 43, 44k an hour. As Mitch comes under the K then. He pops up on the top right, that white blob. So hopefully we can catch Mitch before the others catch us. That'll be an advantage for us. Yeah, pretty much 1k front and back up there. So there was a little bump just then. I think I've had that gap to close up behind. We're back on the downhill now. Should stretch back out a bit. Looks like Mitch and Carney are about to come together. That's not good for us. Oh. This is a good workout again, Wednesday workout. You doing westerly this evening, Ned? They're 800 behind, 700 ahead. See what, we're ticking off these K. Didn't seem that long ago I said 15k to go. Good luck with that. I'm on dinner duty, so I'll be skipping that. Don't go so early this week, Ned. We both jumped the gun a bit last week, didn't we, and got swamped. Ah. So it looked like Mitch with leapfrog Carneal. We're closing fast on Carneal. Holding at 800 to the group behind. Yeah, I saw that. 3 laps today, isn't it? With a bit of a hill in the middle of each lap. Oh, it looks like Carneal's gone. So we're hunting down Mitch again. 560 metres ahead. Still 800 metres to the group behind us. This is nice. So we're not going to get top 10. That's 2.6k up the road. So we might grab 11th. Up over 50 kilometers an hour then. Hey, no worry, Keith. You're allowed to keep going with that cramp. Nice, we're back up over a K. The group behind then. 270 to Mitch. Still 6k to go. So it's between lumps and cops. It so often is on these courses for the win. Pretty even between the two at the minute. I want to stay on this chase, so I'm not going to cut across today. We're there in the last kilometre. We've got 5 to go. So we've been working pretty well together, us three. Feel like we've been sharing the workload pretty well. Done a good job at keeping that pack behind at bay. We're closing in on Mish. There we go, all loves. Beats cops today then for the win. Pretty big group in behind, fighting for that third podium place. Ooh. We've got about 5k, well 4k, 5 minutes to go then. 100 metres up to Mitch. Shouldn't be long until that catch is made. A kilometre ahead of the chase. There's Mitch then up the road, coming into sight. So a bit of cat and mouse now then, I imagine. 3k to go. So there's a tiny little up gradient coming. There, we've got a K advantage then, 1 kilometre to the group behind. .2k to go. The games are beginning. No one's pushing now. I'm just going to be alert to any early moves. Just stretch it out a bit, see who responds. There's the Plan Rouge. So downhill to the finish then by the looks of it, 2% or so. Tell you what, 1.25 to the group behind, we did well. Stretch that out, even with this cat and mouse. Right, I've had enough. Let's go then. 300. Oh! Not quite. Oh, he was up at 17 watts a kilo then, Manning. Crikey. Yeah, had a kick on him. Oh, well done, Manning. I nearly came back at you. Not quite. 12th place. That's all right. I'll take that. Oh. Oh. Nice decent sprint at the end. Tried to go early, catch him off guard. Yeah, Manning, good sprint. I think even Litster was up at 12, 13 watts a kilo there. Yeah, I think a combination of downhill as well, bit of slipstream. Good sprint by Manning there. Cheers to Litster as well, my near namesake. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt yesterday a little bit, Ned, with the that Omnium. Like I said, I hit 1100 watts. I was behind 5 guys and I didn't really feel like I was making much progress, but if they're putting down big watts too, obviously it's going to take more to come back. That chase group comes in behind us there. Cool. Now let's have a little look at the let's end the ride, look at the numbers then. Some donuts, lovely. Oh yeah, you see that at max power, 1050, so I wasn't hanging around. Actually, I used to play football, Ned, with a guy called Mike Liss. L-I-S was his surname. He used to joke that he's half the man that I was. But yeah, we'll keep an eye out for him. He used to lose a bit of weight there by the looks of things. No, he seemed alright at times. He had up the hills, he was pulling away from me. I think he's probably quite light. Got up the hills. I think he didn't quite have that bigger power on the flats. It felt like we could have pulled away from him a bit on a couple of the flats. But that middle section. Oh, right, I'm going to have a bit of a cool down on a magic road. Next week's time trial course. Need to give this a test. There you go, a bit of a preview of next week's course. We're off to Vancouver. It's a little bit lumpier than this week's course. See that spike in the middle out. I think it's Stanley Park. Sort of bit of a climb, a bit technical in the middle. But then at the start and the end, some long straight sections to really get that pace line in order. That's the idea. Oh, that was a nice solid ride. I did like that Runda ride. There you go, there's the advert. Team time trial is back. But yeah, cheers for tuning in. Thanks for keeping me company. Thanks for listening to my ramblings. Feel free to stick around and get a preview of the course for next week. Won't be blasting it through. Just do 20 minutes or so. Give that a few minutes to load up. So yeah, we are doing the time trial again. Quite a few teams registered for this week, which is up in Iceland. And we are doing an individual TT. That's been run on Sunday morning, 0800 GMT. So that's riders going up every 15 seconds. Got a few signed up for that. That's also going to be a weekly event as well, for those who want to do it on their own, or those who don't have a team, or those who want to do both, but they just love TT. We will have the recon ride, just a nice gentle paced group ride on Mondays at 1800 GMT. Did about 20 this week. That was nice. Do the Ratio boys, Lee Ricks, Scott Money, Shane Blackmore from the WKG Renegades. Yeah, it was nice. Bit of a chat. It's a gentle ride on a Monday evening after work for us European guys. Good luck, Ned, with the Westerly race. Anyone else who's watching and riding in that one? I'll leave the stream running, but there won't be much action to describe. It'll just be me and a few bots cruising around. Look at that. Caroline and Jan, the Vive la France winners there. An esteemed company. Alberto there. David Owens, favourite bot. If you haven't seen, David Owen, aka Titanium Geek, me and him had a bit of a chat, 45 minutes of chat. Listen to that on the YouTube channel. We talk about RGT, a bit of Swift, a bit of indoor cycling generally, and just off the cuff, having a little talk. Ooh, I might get these legs spinning again then. And these fans off, getting a bit cold now. Oh, these bots aren't hanging around today. Little climb straight out the gate then. It's always interesting riding this course after I've created it. It always comes out a little bit different to what you thought it would. Yeah, cheers Ned, thanks for tuning in. Good luck. So keep that lead. So it does look like it is quite rolling, this course then. And we've got that slightly bigger climb in the middle, which is also a bit technical. There's a couple of hairpins. Big sweeping bends, allowing the teams to get their pace lines in order. Sweeping bends early on. Oh. So I don't think I'm going to make it all the way to the end of the route. I'm going to ride about 20 minutes. Bonus kilometers. bit of a cool down. Spin the legs out, which I don't normally get to do. A nice straight bit here for the teams to get organised on. Well, I hope you did enjoy the stream today. If you tuned in for the Runda race. So this is just a bit of a sneak preview at next week's team and individual time trial course. Just giving it a bit of a test ride. Check there's no glitches. So far, so good. I tend to make the corners nice. Big radius. Roberto's trying to ride away from me here. Just to help those teams get around the corners without too much disruption to the pace line. Oh, his legs are feeling a bit rough after hard racing yesterday. Solid effort today. Try and rest up a bit before the weekend now, I think. Probably going to do that Grand Fondo National Series on Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. UK time. It's a 60k race. Right, another couple of minutes. I'm going to knock it on the head. All right, guys. Well, start wrapping up now. Thanks for tuning in. You come here to watch the Runda. I wonder what's going on. This is just the course for next week's time trial. Just doing a warm down, bit of recon. But yeah, solid Runda ride today. I've got 2 hours of riding in totals. That's nice. 65k. Good solid workout today. Thanks for keeping me company. For tuning in. Thanks for subscribing and liking. I will catch you all again soon. See you on the next stream.